Relocate and study abroad in Germany. I'm giving you a step-by-step guide for your master's degree 2025 if you're interested in studying internationally abroad. And I'm also answering a question from one of my community members on Instagram who asked about this. So we're going to start with you having to check your eligibility and choosing a program. That should be your first step. The first requirement is going to be checking if your bachelor's degree is recognized. It has to be a recognized bachelor's degree in the direction that you want to go of your master's, which is typically 3 to 4 years, depending on what you studied, your field of study, and of course a transcript of your academic records as evidence of you having a bachelor's degree, because that is a credential for you to join a master's program. For English, you're going to need IELTS, typically around 6.5, or TOEFLs up to around 90 plus. For German, you're going to need the TestDaF or DSH for German taught programs. I mean, we're talking roughly, you should be in layman language, maybe B2 or C1 is perfect. But even at B1 level, you'll be able to join a master's degree, but it's going to be, of course, more complicated for you considering that the language is key. Although keep in mind, we have also universities in Germany that offer programs, master's programs in the English language. And this video should also be a guideline for you actually for the entire Europe. Ruzhoff, my lovelies, inspiring you to live an empowered life. And here I am to serve you and to answer all your questions. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, send it out to a friend who could benefit from this. So let's go right ahead. Next requirement for you is going to be a motivation letter plus a CV. Of course, you're also going to need that for the visa application and any recommendation letters that you may have for you to be able to study, for example, in Germany for a master's program. And we're talking addressing people that want to come to Germany as international students or even relocate, study and work in Germany. Second step for you is definitely going to be applying to universities. I'm of course not going to give the details of which universities because that will make the video very long, but that's exactly why I offer consultation services where I can appraise your situation, what your background is, and then we can look into the appropriate universities for you, and that comes at a little cost. So applications are usually submitted through university websites, and that means we have a centralized website where you can put in all your application, and it's called Uni Assist, a centralized portal for international student applications. That's the one that you should be using. We're looking at application windows. When is the best time to apply? So if we're talking about the winter semester, starts in October, apply definitely between October and January. So you definitely want to keep time, because if you miss the right window to come into the program, you'll have to wait for the next window. When we look at the summer semester, it starts in April. Between January and October, you should also apply. Keep in mind, some programs have earlier application deadlines and rolling admissions. So the earlier you submit your application, the better. So once you're done with the steps that I've mentioned above, you're going to be presumably receiving, your admission, and then we'll move on to the next step of applying for the student visa. Yes, when you're coming on master's program, the visa that you're going to require is the student visa. So you're going to need a valid passport. No brainer, right? You're going to need the admission letter. That is the key for you to getting the visa. Without this admission letter, you're not getting this student visa. So definitely you want to have that already before you start your process of applying for the visa. And again, proof of financial resources. Usually it's around 11,000 euros, as of this year, 2025, in a blocked account, e.g. the different banks that you can use. We're talking Deutsche Bank and all other banks that are eligible, which I can always detail for you during a consultation should you require one. Or you're going to need a sponsorship letter from someone in Germany that is willing to finance you for the time that you're going to be there. So that way you can sideline the blocked account. Either way, you have to show proof of funds. And then we also talk about proof of health insurance. Yes, it's very key. Without it, you're not going to get a visa. And of course, there are also particular insurance companies that are accepted by the German embassy. So you have to be very careful. You don't want to, pay for an insurance with a company that will be rejected. So that is also information that you need. You can always DM me on all my socials, and then you get all the information. I go by the name Ruzhoff on every social media. Language proficiency proof, we talked about it. If you're going to be having a program in English, you're going to need all your IELTS. If you're going to be doing the program in German, then you're going to need the perfect, the right level for your German standard. So you're going to have to show proof of that. And of course, you're going to be doing all this through a visa application form. So application form and biometric photos, the visa fee, and then you can submit the application. Keep in mind, it is always better to take longer than to rush the process, because if you miss out on anything, the possibility and the probability of having your visa rejected is very high, and you don't want to do that because the money is never refunded. So take your time, go through all the documents, make sure everything is right, book a consultation with me if you have to, and let's do everything right. But for as long as you've gone through the right steps and you've done everything right, there shouldn't be a reason whatsoever why your visa should be denied or rejected. And if you're wondering where do I submit the visa application, most processes are online, but keeping in mind it is always directed to the German embassy or consulate in your country. Some countries don't have embassies, they have consulates, so you have to find that information out. The type of visa you have to look for is the student visa. That is very important. So you're looking at the student application visa form and so on and so forth. And of course, you want to arrange things pre-hand before you even get your visa. We're talking accommodation. Once you come to Germany for your studies, what's your plan? Are you going to be able to get affordable accommodation? We're talking about student accommodation. We're talking about student dormitories. They're very competitive. They're very expensive. If you're going to cities like Berlin, you're going to Munich, it's almost impossible to get accommodation. So it's very advisable to try beforehand and make sure that you find something. We're talking flats, we're talking shared apartments, what we call WG here in Germany. You really want to get all that information on time. And of course, I do offer the websites and the tips and tricks where you can find all that kind of affordable accommodation. But again, I can't put all of it in a video. It's a one-to-one consultation session that you can always book and get this assistance. Which of course brings us to my website, ruzhoff.com. In case you're wondering, how do I reach you? How do I contact you? Just head over to my website, send me an email, and I'll definitely get back to you. Alternatively, you can DM me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or Twitter, and we can always communicate and see how to go about it. But keep in mind, this consultation comes at a fee, but it's very affordable. Next step would be, once you get into Germany, because as you all know, I'm all about relocation, integration, so you're getting the full package. Once I get there, how do I settle in? How do I register? So most important, you're going to register your address. That means your location, where you're staying, where you get your apartment, your residence, and you do that in the local mayor's office, or what we call Bürgeramt. You go and register there, and every district, every town has its own mayor's office or Bürgeramt. That's why you want to, to register. You convert your visa to a residence permit. Very, very important. What we call the Aufenthaltstitel in German. You're going to see all those words after you've relocated, and that we do it at the foreigners office, which is the Ausländerbehörde. Again, once you get here, I can also support you through your integration and journey. And then again, next step would be to open up a German bank account. Yes, you're going to need that. Without a bank account, your life will be at a standstill. Get a SIM card. Yes, you're going to miss people at home. You're going to want to call. So I would advise you to get, if you're a student, I would advise for Vodafone, 1&1. They're a bit affordable. If you're financially stable, you can try Telecom. And then I would advise you to get an extra SIM card for international calls like Lebara or Laika. It's very affordable. Alternatively, of course, you can always do WhatsApp calls. And finalize your health insurance. Once all this is done, register with your university to start the semester. Yes, you are now in Germany. Welcome, and your journey as a student can start. This is where I put for you the summary of all the requirements in this video. I don't know, right side or left side, I'll find the space to put it for you. A few extra tips. We have public universities in Germany which are tuition free. So we're talking about free education, but check out if your program is a consecutive. That means directly your bachelor program to remain tuition free. So it has to be in par with the bachelor that you had for you to be able to get this free master's program. Also consider learning basic German, even if your program is in English. It will help you with your daily life, it will help you with integration, and it will help you after your studies if you intend to stay and work in Germany. So, why not learn the language? It's a big opportunity, even if you were to leave Germany career-wise. Plus, explore scholarships from DAD, Erasmus, or specific universities, which I actually always share in my stories. You want to follow me on Instagram probably, so you make sure you get all that free information and updates when there are new and free scholarships in Germany. My loves, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always sending in your questions. I really appreciate doing content that it's directly serving my clients, my community. And if you're new here, thank you so much for watching. Spread the love, spread the news, share these videos with your friends in different groups so we can all grow, benefit, and empower each other. My lovelies, thank you so much. I'm here to inspire, uplift, and empower you. Until next time, bye.